I want to talk about an ad that you have probably seen. It's like the fire your marketing agency ad and replace them with AI, and it's like $20 a month. Now, I'm not going to tell you that that ad is wrong. Sometimes those ads are completely right. I mean, there are law firm marketing agencies operating right now that you should absolutely stop paying. And if you have one of those, the sooner you figure that out, the better. But there are also law firm marketing agencies doing work that AI cannot replicate. And the attorneys who fire those agencies based on a Facebook ad are going to feel very smart for about maybe 6 months. Then the pipeline dries up and they spend the next 2 years trying to rebuild what they had. Um, I build AI systems for law firm marketing. That's a significant part of what we do at Forward Push. So I'm not saying any of this to protect the agency model. I'm actually saying it because I've watched both outcomes happen and they look the same just on the way in. By the end of this video, my hope is that you're going to have a clear framework for which situation you're in right now. And it will not take longer than a week to find out. So before I give you the framework, I want to name what's actually at stake, because the ads make this sound like a budget decision, and it's not. Legal marketing is a compound investment. The content you publish today builds authority that produces leads in 6 months. The reviews you generate this month feed your AI search visibility next year. The ad data that your agency accumulates over 2 years of running your campaigns tells them things about your specific market that cannot be bought, borrowed, or even prompted. When you fire an agency and start over with AI from scratch, you're not just cutting a monthly expense. You actually are resetting the clock on a compound investment, and you will not feel that for a while, but it's going to happen. Month 1, look fine. Month 2 looks fine. Month 4, you notice the inquiry volume is softer. Month 6, you are wondering what changed. And by month 9, you are sitting in a conversation with someone like me asking how to rebuild. That is the scenario no one shows you in those ads. The ads show you the monthly savings. It does not show you the 18 months of compounding you gave up to get them. So the decision to fire your agency or keep them is not really a budget decision. I mean, it's a growth trajectory decision, and it deserves more than a Facebook's ads worth of analysis. So, I mean, here's the framework that I would use. The first test is the simplest. Look at the work your agency is producing, not the reports. The actual work that they are doing, the ads, the content, the video scripts, the landing pages. Now, ask yourself one question. Could this have been produced for any law firm in any market? If a personal injury firm in Atlanta and a personal injury firm in Seattle could run the exact same ad with just the city name change, that ad's generic. And generic legal marketing is something AI can produce for free right now. You should not be paying an agency for it. Real marketing, on the other hand, is specific. It knows that a car accident victim searching at 11 at night on a Tuesday is in a different emotional state than someone searching during their lunch break. It knows that the language that converts a criminal defense client in week 1 of a charge is different from the language that converts someone who's been sitting on a charge for 3 months. It knows what your local market responds to because it's been tested in your local market. You see, generic marketing sounds like marketing. It uses the right words. It looks professional and it's clean. It just does not work as well as specific marketing. And the gap shows up in your signed cases count, not in the reports. So here's a test that you can run right now. open ChatGPT, type, write a Facebook ad for a personal injury attorney in Atlanta, and read what comes back. Do this for your own firm. Then look at the ads your agency produced last month. If they look like cousins, you've got a problem. Not because ChatGPT wrote your agency's ads, but because your agency and ChatGPT are working from the same level of knowledge about your market. And one of them charges you several $1,000s a month. If your agency work looks genuinely different, more specific, more rooted in your actual market and your actual client psychology, that specificity is what you're paying for. And it's what AI cannot replace. So here's the second test you can do. And it cuts both ways. Ask your agency what they're doing with AI. Not in general terms. Specifically, what tools are running on your account? How often is your account being reviewed and adjusted? What happens when a platform changes something at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday? I mean, if the answer is vague or it involves the words monthly report, that's a problem. A well-run paid search account is not something you check once a week. The data just moves consistently, so search term performance shifts. Budget allocation opportunities open and close. A campaign that's producing well at noon on a Wednesday might be pulling from the wrong audience by Friday afternoon. The agencies managing accounts well in 2026, they've got systems running on those accounts continuously, not a human just checking it periodically. The math matters here. A strong paid search expert managing accounts manually, maybe they can handle 15 to 20 accounts at a high standard. That same expert with the right AI tools, monitoring and adjusting in real time, can manage 5 times that at a higher quality bar. Not because the expertise got replaced, because the expertise got multiplied. That is what AI augmented agency work looks like when it's done right. The expert is still the foundation. The judgment, the market knowledge, the understanding of what works for criminal defense in your city versus what works for estate planning, that doesn't come from a tool. It comes from experience. The AI sits on top of the experience and makes it faster, more consistent, and more precise. So if your agency is not operating that way in 2026, they're behind. And a competitor's agency that's operating that way is running faster on every metrics than yours is. That's the truth. But if your agency is using AI the right way, with experienced people in the foundation and intelligence systems amplifying their work, that combination is genuinely hard to replicate by yourself with a subscription and good intentions. So just go ahead and ask them. Push for specifics. The agencies doing this well can explain it clearly. The agencies who are not either doing that, they're just going to go quiet or they're just going to get vague when you ask them. The third test you can do is about what your agency is actually paying attention to. I think most legal marketing agencies talk to you about one thing: lead volume. How many leads came in, what the cost per lead was, whether leads are up or down from last month. Yeah, leads matter, of course, but leads are the beginning of the funnel, not the end of it. I mean, I've talked to attorneys who have strong lead volume and a broken pipeline. The leads are coming in, but no one's responding to them fast enough. Consulate are just like things are being booked, but not showing up because the confirmation process is thin. It's just stuff's being completed, but not converting because something in the post-consult follow-up is missing. And in those situations, the marketing is not the problem. The problem is downstream from marketing. And an agency that only measures leads will never surface that diagnosis. They will just recommend more ad spend. Not good. Ask your agency, When my leads are not converting to signed cases, what do you look at? Do they ask about your intake process? Your response time? What happens after a consultation ends? What's your no-show rate? If those questions make them uncomfortable, or if the answer is always more traffic, more leads, more volume, you're working with an agency that only sees part of your business. And in that case, you are not getting the strategic value that justifies the retainer. The agencies worth keeping look at the full picture. They will tell you when the problem is not the marketing, even when more marketing spend would be more profitable for them. That willingness to be honest about where the real problem is, that is judgment. And judgment is not something you can get from an AI prompt. So I want to say something directly about the do-it-yourself with AI path, because I think it's real and I think it's something you should understand. You can use Claude or ChatGPT to produce content, ads, manage all the basic marketing presence. The tools are good and getting better every month, but there's a version of this that costs more than it saves, and most attorneys do not see it coming. Think about what your time is actually worth. I mean, if you're billing at $400 an hour and you spend 10 hours a week on marketing tasks, that's $4,000 a week in time. Not out of pocket, but real money. That time was not spent practicing law, not spent with clients, not spent building your practice. And here's the harder part. Most attorneys who take marketing in-house using AI are not starting from a foundation of marketing expertise. They're starting from zero. The output looks professional because AI writes clean copy, but whether that copy actually converts in their specific market for their specific practice area to their prospective client is unknowable until they've run enough of it to see the data. That learning curve, it costs money, not line item money, revenue that did not materialize while the learning happened. I don't know a law firm that would want to do that. That said, if your current agency is producing generic work, running your account on a check-in once a week schedule, and only talks to you about leads, you are already paying for something you could do better yourself. Fire them. Use AI. You'll be ahead in that case. So the decision is not agency versus AI. The decision is whether your specific agency is producing something that justifies the retainer. Some are, many are not. The framework I just walked you through tells you which one you have. So here's a quick summary. If your agency is producing generic work that a well-written prompt could replicate, go ahead and replace them. If your agency is not using AI to amplify their work, if they are checking your account weekly and calling it optimization, go ahead, replace them. And if if your agency only sees your leads and never asks about what happens to those leads downstream, replace them. And if your agency cannot tell you specifically what they are doing with AI and what it's producing for your account, go ahead and replace them. But if your agency is doing specific work built around your actual market and your actual clients, if they're running intelligent systems on your account continuously, if they look at your full business, not just your lead count, and if they can show you exactly what AI is doing inside your campaigns, hold on to them. That's rare. And it's going to get more valuable, not less, as this whole technology matures. The firms that are going to dominate their markets in the next 5 years are not the ones who replace their marketing team with AI. They are the ones whose marketing team is using AI better than their competitors' marketing teams are. That's the real competition, not attorney versus AI, agency with AI versus agency without it. So just figure out which side of that your agency is on. The test I walked you through tell you in about a week. My name's Mark Apple. I'm the founder and partner at Forward Push Law Firm Marketing, and we work exclusively with law firms, which is why I can share this with you. So if this video raised some questions and you want to talk about it, find us at forwardpush.com, and I'll see you in the next video.